Hi, my name is Fivel Stewart, and you are watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press, and today I'm so happy to be joined by Fivel Stewart. How are you?
I am so good. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It looks like it's super sunny in California today.
It is. Look at that. Oh God, that's wires. That was not a pretty, but the sky is blue and the sun is out.
Tell me, how has this past year been for you with regards to not only staying safe, but keeping creative and connected to those close to you?
This year has been, I mean, I think it's been harder on everyone just with what's happening around us. Um, I've never been in a pandemic before. I've never experienced anything like this before or being so isolated. But I think personally, we're doing as best as we can. And I find it really, I've been so lucky to be able to work during this time. So I haven't been like trapped in my home and I haven't been like pulling my teeth out. But um, I am naturally a homebody. So I staying at home isn't like it's not a bad thing to me. I'm not like forced to stay home. I either choose to stay home. Andrew and I just moved to Venice, and this is our first time living together, and this is my first time moving out. And before Venice, we lived on my dad's ranch in the valley, so we had like acres of land and horses, and so to be quarantined on a ranch or in Venice, like it hasn't been hard or it hasn't been forced upon us.
Spending time at home. I know you've been cooking, trying new recipes. What have you been making?
Yeah. Well, I think naturally I love to cook. Like I've been cooking like on and off since I was like 18. And just like I love shabu shabu. I was really obsessed with making curries. I was a vegan for a second and then I was a pescatarian. Like I love trying so many different recipes. Um, we just we just had a class with this girl named Alexa Soto, who is a vegan chef, and we made like vegan enchiladas with jackfruit, and then we made rice pudding, and we made this hibiscus strawberry tea, and like this jicama cucumber salad, and then before that I made Andrew went to New York, no, went to Florida for something, and I surprised him with baking a key lime pie, which was not vegan or gluten free, but we can have the days off.
That
But I
sounds
do love cooking.
delicious.
Yeah, I love cooking. My mom like always raised us like making wontons for parties, like handmade wontons, and um it's really the dynamic between my mom and my dad's cooking is so different and like fascinating. My mom like would make us rice with like an egg on top with fudamaki seasoning and like soy sauce, and then my dad would just like put a bunch of stuff in one pot and just make it.
Yeah, like that melting pot of everything.
the Totally the melting pot literally of anything like baked beans, chicken, ham, mashed potatoes, cheese, ground beef, sour cream, maybe. Like so much.
I love that because it's kind of like the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, totally. Like you have like, but my mom wasn't really a cookie. Like I only remember specific times when she would really cook. um but yeah, having it was the best of both worlds. Yeah.
So something else you did was Dream It Con. You got to meet some fans virtually. What was that experience like for you?
Oh my gosh. Um, so amazing. Like I am, I was telling Bridget about it, um, Casey on Atypical. And I was just like, because people are really affected by the show, which is like so honorable. Like I feel so amazed that I'm so seen and acknowledged in such a way. And I was just telling them about it, and I was like, these people really are influenced by our characters. And it I feel like I've experienced Boo Boo's fandom, like like not crazy, but like crying and like, oh my god, it's Boo, like, like it overtakes their body. And I feel like I get recognized in more of like a thank you so much for like telling this story. Thank you for being an Asian female who is queer, and like thank you for really being raw with storytelling, and which both appreciation is amazing, but like to hear stories and to be like, this is what your character has done for me, it's like, oh my god, like thank you so much for telling me, because I don't know, that's like what fulfills us, you know. um I I actually, this one girl who was so amazing, she made these like stickers, these like tarot card stickers that have all the characters from Atypical on them, and then it has Casey and Izzy, and I like bought a huge bulk of them from her, and I'm going to give everyone on set of Atypical these stickers, and I'm just so happy that these people are coming forward and like showing themselves, because like I appreciate them as much as they appreciate me, you know.
I think it's so amazing that you talk about that because you can tell that it means so much to you. And did you just
Yeah,
spoil your wrap party gift to everyone?
yeah, like I'm so, and like it's a, I feel like wrap gifts either could be like super meaningful, or they could just be like, thank you, like thanks for putting up with me. And like the fact that someone who made them is so also and like so impacted from the show is like, that's even more special, you know. And this is our last season, so I think it really will mean a lot to everyone.
I'm sure it will. Let's talk
Yeah.
more about this show. Let's talk about Izzy.
Yeah.
We've gotten
Mm-hmm.
to know her over the past couple of seasons as a
Mm-hmm.
fighter and a
Mm-hmm.
caretaker. What have you really enjoyed and learned about stepping into her shoes?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think especially this season, you're gonna meet a lot more of Izzy, and it's her life is gonna be a lot more transparent to the audience. And I, you know, she's such a fighter, and she has such a fire in her, um, which I feel like I could relate to as well. And I didn't know, like I always, whenever I played Izzy, I always thought to myself how different we were. Um, but this season, I'm like, oh wow, we are very similar in like strength and in be like with being outspoken, and like when we believe in something, we really believe in it, and like nothing will change our mind. Um, and I think it's going to be really, really amazing for young girls and boys and whatever to watch Izzy be so in her body and in her knowing of where she was in the last season and who she is now, and like how comfortable she is with that and how okay she is with it, you know.
So let's talk Casey and Izzy. They appear to be in a really good place heading into season 4. What are you hoping to see, from their relationship?
Ooh, I'm really hoping to see, you know, there is a like, what is that called, there's like a code, not a code, but like there's such a structure of how queer relationships go on TV. It's like very dramatic. It's very hard. It's more dramatic than like loving. And when it's a boy and girl, it's very sexual. It's very immediately comfortable with each other, right? And you know, Casey and Izzy are young teenagers, so it's still a process of finding themselves. But I think in season 4, I hope to see the the process and the journey, but I also really hope to see the softness and the rawness of how much they do love each other. Because it isn't it shouldn't be about like, oh, we're both females, so of course it's going to be dramatic. You know, it should be like, oh, we're both females, so whatever, and we're still going to love each other, you know.
I love that. And you and Bridget have such amazing chemistry. Tell me about building that friendship off screen and then having it carry over into the show.
yeah, it's a little tough. It's a little we're so close. Like it's such a when I see Bridget when we film, which is going to be hard because I'm not going to be able to see them this, like we always had this time for us. Um, and I love them so much. And like, I always find a best friend in them when I'm with them. And for it, and when we kiss and stuff, it's literally just like, I'm so happy I get to show them this affection, even in my real life. Like, because it's like like friends aren't like if you're friends you don't kiss or like whatever, but like the fact that I love Bridget so much and the fact that I get to kiss them and to also show them how much I love them physically is like I love it. Like it's just I don't know, it's like a different way of expressing yourself. It's very free.
I just adore the relationship that you two have, and you have been keeping in touch this past year. I think you did a live stream together as well.
We did yeah. Yeah, I mean like Bridget and I are very like I consider them like family to me. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you were talking about a bit about season 4 and what we can expect from Izzy. I'm personally hoping to see more of her family, her mom and
Hmm.
her two siblings, because obviously that they played a part in who she is as a person. What
Hmm.
can you tease about season 4 as a whole, based on the scripts that you've read so far?
We do get a last name. We do we do maybe see a mom. Um, and that's it.
And that's that. Well,
That's that.
let's talk about season 4 production is underway in general. What was it like for you? What were your feelings returning to set for the first time and seeing familiar faces in the cast and crew, even if it was from afar or you had masks on? What was that like?
Yeah. I had filmed another project before Atypical. So being on set wasn't like the mask and taking it off and leaving, that whole process wasn't new to me. Um, so going on set I was a lot more comfortable than I feel like maybe some of the cast was, which is totally understandable because like when I was first going on set of the other film, I was very scared. I did not want to get COVID. I did not want to be that person that shut the production. Like there's just so much pressure. Um, but going on set was, I don't know, going on set of Atypical is like a recess. It's like it's just so freeing. The mask thing, you couldn't really tell who was who, uh, like like crew wise, you know. Um, but now, I mean, we're all family. Like it's all good now. Like now we all know who each other are, and um, seeing Bridget was amazing. Yeah, it was like a release being on set for the fourth season.
So in terms of your favorite scene, do you have a personal favorite that you have filmed so far from seasons
Yes.
1, from seasons 2 and 3?
Oh, I was like, yes, the one we filmed yesterday, which I cannot tell you about.
Just a tease that that Fivel's favorite scene is in this upcoming season.
Yeah. I mean, I think my favorite scene, honestly, I think, well, because when I filmed Atypical, like the first season I was on, I didn't know, it wasn't like brought to my attention that we were going to be in a relationship. Like I was just auditioning as Izzy, right? Like no one, I didn't know who Izzy was or what she was going to mean to the show. Um, so I think maybe my favorite scene is the first scene where I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. Like, why are you on my territory? Like, why are you here? Like I was so mean. Um, but I think that is my favorite one because that was the first one we shot, and the rest was history. the rest is history, So I think that's like a good one to have.
Let's talk about a couple of my personal favorite scenes. I know
Yeah.
you did the shot by shot of the track for Netflix, so we'll leave that one. But the Slurpee night, did you and Bridget, talk through it at all ahead of time after you read the script, or did you kind of just let that play out on camera?
We probably talked about it in hopes of what was going to happen. But I don't think anything was definite. I mean, no, that's not true. We had to have known that we were going to be in a relationship because just how much fandom we got from Casey and Izzy. Like the showrunners would only be not smart if they didn't put us together, So we were like, yeah, of course we have to be together. We're in a relationship now. Yeah.
I just thought that, that moment was such like an understated, beautiful moment of understanding, and it didn't need a lot of dialogue. And the other one I really enjoyed was the dinner party scene because you got the chance to interact with some of the cast who you don't typically share scenes with in Kier and Nick. So how much fun was it filming that scene?
Yeah, it was really fun. I felt more involved. I felt more welcomed. And then to like stand up for Casey through Evan, like was such a strong, powerful move for Izzy. And it felt like I was just, yeah, everyone wants to feel included, right? So the fact that Izzy was there made me and also my character feel just like, oh, okay, we're in this. Like it was a nice feeling. Yeah.
I thought that Izzy went full on Gardner family defense squad there when she confronted Evan. Like, do you think that there's a space or a possibility of Casey and Izzy and Evan ever being friends? Like when they
No.
hung out when no, just put that to rest. No.
No.
But how's it been like sharing scenes with Graham as well as Evan?
Oh, great. Graham is fantastic. He's so nice. He's such a dude. Like he's so just easygoing and just chill, you know. He's very easy to be with.
Well, hopefully we do see some scenes of the three of you in season 4. You were mentioning the film you worked on during the pandemic, which was the supernatural horror film Umma. What can you share about that project?
So it's a Korean film. And it's pronounced Umma, which means mom in Korean. And it's about a mother and daughter. And I think what I always go back on is just like that saying of like how far would a mother go for her child? And I think that is like what the movie is about. Um, it's a Korean American film. The daughter is Korean and American, and they kind of have suppressed the culture, for forever, really. And then the Korean culture kind of uprises again in the family, and but kind of in a horrific way. So, but yeah, I really think how I would explain the movie is through a quote, and it's how far would a mother go for her children, you know?
That is so intriguing, and you got to work opposite Sandra Oh, who is a phenomenal, strong Asian female artist. What was that experience like for you?
Oh my God, like so life changing. Like I feel so thankful for that experience. Like I will forever be thankful for that experience because it is such a landmark in my life. And to experience something so different and so powerful and so strong, like she is powerful and strong, and so is the movie and the process of the movie and the filming of the movie. Like everything was just strong and powerful. And I feel so lucky to be seen. I feel so lucky to be cast as a younger Sandra Oh, because then that also means that I could be perceived that way. And that's a dream of mine. And, you know, everything you think of her, she is. Like, she's amazing and she's so talented and she's so intuitively smart with her acting. And yeah, like I will never forget that process.
I love that you shared a photo of the two of you on Instagram and then you deleted it and then reposted it. So what was the story behind that?
So I posted it and I sent it to the producer and I was like, can I post this? Because like it's not out yet. And I don't know if people even know like what it's about. Um, and she didn't get back to me. And so I was like, I'm just gonna delete it. Like I don't want to get in trouble, you know. And then she reached out to me and was like, yes, it's fine. And then of course I posted it again.
I love that
Yeah,
because you like post it, then you're like, wait, will I get in trouble for this? And then
yeah,
you like
yeah,
instinctively took it down.
yeah.
It's
And
a
like,
beautiful
but I did,
photo. It looks like you have it framed.
thank you so much. Yeah, it like we took so many photos and they're all so amazing. Um, I do that a lot with my photos on Instagram though. Like I have a hard time with like sticking to it because it's social media and like I'm still figuring it all out, but like I don't know, I just like don't know how much of me I want to like put out there. And like I kind of feel funny just posting just to post. And so I'll delete stuff immediately after I post it.
That kind of actually ties into my next question to you. That's something you said in an interview before, which I love, is that you really want to influence correctly and
Yeah.
embrace imperfections and authenticity. And you've been in the spotlight since a very young age, as has your entire
Hmm.
family. So tell me about their role in your life and how they helped you maintain that groundedness.
You know, I was actually just thinking about this yesterday when I was driving. Um, like everyone plays such a specific part in my life and how I remember them. Like I remember like let's start with my mom. There's six of us in my family. So this might be a long answer. Do you want the whole answer or do you want it to be short? Yeah. So I remember my mom, um, she was dating this guy. So my parents are divorced and she was dating this guy and she would always let me sit in the front and play music as loud as I wanted. Like, because I was playing music pretty loud on the way home when I was driving back from set. And I was like, and I wouldn't just listen to the music. I'd I'd be I'd like dancing in the front seat with my window down. I'm like, and like be a lot. I was so much. Like I wasn't just one of those kids that was like, you know what I mean? And I think she really allowed us to be who we were. Um, and there's a lot of freedom in that, you know, instead of like being like, why are you being like this? Or you need to talk less. You need to talk like she just allowed us to embrace our loudness, our quirkiness, our funny, our shyness. My brother was so shy growing up, and now he's just like blossomed into this big sunflower. And yeah, so that's how I remember my mom. She was very just like do whatever you want, and like as long as like you're not like doing drugs or like drinking and like partying, like do whatever you want. Um, my dad was very growing up, we definitely, I mean, he wanted to be an actor. So I feel like he knew what, like, not chores you needed to do, but like how determined you needed to be. And so we would wake up at like 7 or 8 a.m. and we would go say a prayer at church because he's Catholic. And then we would go to the gym for an hour and we would come back and we would just go to meetings and go to dance. We would go to martial arts. Like we were always involved in like training our bodies or our mind. Um, so I think I would say he was more strict, you know. Um, but like our but all, at the same time, our house growing up was like the house where everyone would come to, because it was like this wooden house with 4 acres of land. And all of my brother's friends would be there. My friends would be there. I would always have someone stay the night. Like, it was, people were coming in and out of my house constantly. So we were very like also comfortable in front of people. So it's like a big combination of just like of freedom, but like also strictness and like rules, but having freedom within those rules of like creativity. So, and then my older sister, she's 34 now. You know, my older sister plays a huge part in my life. And I really remember her raising me. Like, a lot of my memories of childhood were with her, because my brother was super successful when he was younger. So my mom and dad were always with him. And we would just have, she was such a girl growing up. So like, I just remember like doing makeup and hair and like, and dancing, so like I got the masculinity from my dad and the femininity from my sister and the freedom from my mom and the discipline from my dad, and like, and the things that they put in our lives were like martial arts, which we did from like 5 to 11. And we didn't just do it, but like we were world champions in it. And then we did dance classes and we competed in dance. And then I got a scholarship to Millennium for like free classes for 5 years. It was just like we just like didn't stop. And I think like that is what, like, that foundation has built, I don't know, such a headstrong family.
So prior to acting, your big thing was music with My Allowance and 5L. Do you have a lot of vivid memories from that period of your life when you toured, you played some pretty big gigs on stage?
Yeah, I think that like making a film and performing in front of 10,000 people give you such a different fulfillment. I think performing on stage is the most exciting thing you could ever do. So I think that like all of my experiences with performing with those groups have been such staple memories in my body and my mind. And feeling that love, like I'm a very energetic, I love energy, and like feeling that much energy of so many people like has probably made my heart so much bigger, you know.
What was your favorite song to perform back then?
Heart on Fire, if you've ever heard it. It was produced by Chris Rojas, which he did all the music for like Big Time Rush and like some Britney Spears stuff. And
That was a 5L song, right?
It was a 5L song. Yep. And that was a pretty, just like, my sister choreographed it, my older sister Megan, and it was just so fun. Like, we had pyro and everything, and it was just so fun.
So I know that your guitar and singing have made the occasional appearance on your Instagram lives. Is music something that you are returning to and something you've been working on?
Music falls very close to my heart. I find it like a release. I always go back and forth with playing guitar and like trying to write my own music, but I don't think that, I mean, never say never, but like, I don't know if I'll ever become like a singer. Um, I think that that is something that I will just like hold dear to me without it being so transparent to the world. That's why you only see it so little on my Instagram. When I'm like, ooh, that sounds really pretty and unique, I'll post it and then maybe delete it and then not show anyone.
Just how 5 cycle goes, right? With social
Yeah,
media.
yeah. It could be because I'm super insecure or because I'm really mysterious.
You do have a song in the Never list, is that right?
Yeah, the and have you seen it yet?
I haven't, but I know that you have an original song on the soundtrack. So I'm waiting till I get to watch this movie with my good friends. But tell us a bit about the song because I can imagine it was written from Ava's point of view.
Yeah, I think it's I don't want to give away too much of the story. You should watch it. It's a really cute story. But I think the song is a really good translation of how she really lived her life based on her best friend's death. And I think it's more just like it's her time to in a healthy way heal with the loss of her best friend, but now move on and to live the best life for her.
I cannot wait to hear the soundtrack as a whole. I know your composer did some original work, and then the soundtrack has a lot of indie bands on it as well. We'll talk about the Neverlist shortly. I was talking to Boo Boo and David last week about Sage, jamming out with them on the drums. Hearing you talk about music, would you ever be open to doing a collaboration with them?
Boo Boo and David?
Getting the band back together?
Nah.
No,
I
not at
wouldn't.
this.
I wouldn't.
I do think that like as they've kind of veered from, the music that you made before, and I'm sure that the stuff that you are working on sounds a bit different. So those hopes of Just So Right, the reprise for me are dashed now.
Ah,
You two
that's
had
so
such
funny.
great
Yeah.
harmonies though, I have to say. Like I'm sure growing up you got
Thank
that a
you.
lot, but you and Boo Boo did sound really good together.
We appreciate that, or I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, maybe far down the line when I'm like 30 and he's 35 and we're still musically talented and we just naturally get the guitar and I write lyrics and he writes lyrics and we sing together, that could be a thing. And then we're like, oh, might as well post a song. But no,
On
no.
that front though, like who are some artists that you have really been listening to these past year or so?
Oh, I mean, I will forever be a huge fan of the 1975. I think that band is like a timeless band for me. I could just listen to them forever. Um, I don't know. I've been finding I like singles. Or I mean, I just listened to I feel like the 1975 and Paramore are like my foundation, and then like around my foundation is like Hosier and James Verman or uh um Bon Iver. Um I mean Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, more like alternative music like that.
Yeah, those are some great musical
Mhm.
acts. We'll talk a bit more about the Neverlist, where you star as Ava. Tell me a bit about her and this story. You talked a bit about it in terms of losing her best friend, but how did you prepare for this role?
I listened to a lot of Enya before I would film. Uh just because I remember, being in martial arts, my sensei would always like have us meditate to Enya. And whenever I would put her on, it just like brought me to a really like place in my abdominal where I would just like feel, like I would just feel. And I think that and Brenna D'Amico, who plays my best friend, I knew her already because of Descendants, and her and I actually we hit it. We were hanging out for a second before the film, and so it was really easy to connect to her because we already had a friendship prior. And but interesting enough, I didn't really have like a process to prepare for the Neverlist because it was a pretty accurate teenager girl, who went through a lot. And I was that. I was once a teenage girl who was going through a lot. So I think it just kind of like came intuitively.
I just love the female representation on this film. Everyone from your director, Michelle, to the producer, writer, Ariadne, to the composer, cast and crew. So how empowering was it to go on set every day?
It was pretty great, and it was like a smaller set. So, and like Janine, the DP, was so fantastic that like as long as the director, the DP, and the actor are in sync, you will make your day, and it will be fun for everyone to be there, you know. And I think it was really special because like when I film, I like to make everyone feel like this is we're creating something, like that's freaking awesome and it's fun. And so I think filming the Neverlist was just like a really fun experience. And it was so small that like it wasn't intimidating, it wasn't like stressful. It was just like, let's create, you know.
And I do think that, it's important to not only support women in film, but women filmmakers and the stories that they are bringing to life. Ultimately, what do you hope viewers take away from the Neverlist?
Uh Probably inspiration. Probably like to be understood and to know that when you lose someone, you're not alone, right? No matter how, I mean, I even said earlier, like no matter how old you are, you will lose someone. And to see Ava continue on even stronger than where she started, and for people to know like that's possible, you know, because like when you lose someone, you feel like your heart is like literally taken out of your body and like plopped on the floor and you can't get it back ever. and and I think that maybe she went through that, but in a very rebellious way. Like I don't think she ever really got to heal. I think she immediately just like went off, just like went out of her way to avoid it. And I think I want people to be able to watch and just be like, okay, like I won't do that. And then watch the ending of the movie and be like, okay, I will do that. And then, you know, so I hope they take a healing journey from the movie.
Well, this movie has a lot of heart. There is no doubt about it. I cannot wait to see it from start to finish. I've seen the release clips already. And now you met Andrew, for those, if it's not clear by now, Andrew Kai, who you're currently dating on the set of this movie. And now you have a wonderful German short-haired pointer. You have Koa. Oh, there he is. Tell me, how did he enter your life? It's been like a year now, right?
Yeah, Koa has he's been here for a year now, and we love him so much, and he's very active. And we walk him on the beach every morning and hopefully every night, because if we don't do that, he's a little crazy. um, his breed is a hunting. He's a hunter, so he like needs that like he needs to focus on something, or he needs to achieve something throughout the day. But we love him because he's a smush ball in the morning. Like he goes to sleep and he like won't sleep throughout the night and then be so tired in the morning. And Andrew and I are just completely effed because we're like, okay, well, or mostly Andrew, really. Like Andrew wakes up like I freaking did not sleep, and I'm like, I slept amazing, but and then Cole will just be sleeping, and he's the cutest. He's like our child.
Who do you think spoils him more between you and Andrew?
Ooh. Okay, so we spoil him differently. I feel like I spoil him with treats and food and like motherly things and like, you know, like Koa, eat, Koa, you want a treat? Koa, you know, and Andrew spoils him in like activity and like goes for runs with him and skateboard rides with him and like
Okay, I saw
hikes.
that video of Andrew on the skateboard and Koa on the leash running in front. He is so fast.
Amazing. I know, like they're amazing together. I could never do that. So I think that's how we spoil him differently.
Yeah, he is a beautiful dog. I'm sure he loves spending time on the family ranch as well.
Thank you. Yeah, he does love it. I know. I think we got really lucky like raising him around horses because no, he's so cute. When you speak to him, he's like,
Attitude
So
of his own.
yeah, yeah. Koa GSP.
Let's talk about something that you were a producer on, which was One Glove Rider. Unfortunately, we don't have Andrew here to talk about Samuel and this project, but what was it like putting it together? Because your dad and Boo Boo were also involved in it.
Yeah. The One Glove Rider. Oh, I wish Andrew could talk about this. It was a really Andrew is so creative and he is so proactive and he's always thinking of ideas. Like throughout the day, he will come up with about 2 to 10 ideas about like a film, a script, a short, just something. And or even like creatively, like he wants to open up a restaurant or like a waffle house or like, something like he's always on the go. His mind is like, and I'm just like, I want to go sit in the sauna. Like, I don't know. But he wrote the One Glove Rider and it was during COVID. And I think we were just or he was really itching to like create something. And um and I was like, let's just freaking do it. Like, what's stopping us? The only thing stopping us is ourselves. And you know, he wrote it with bikers. And I was like, I we have these sources at our fingertips. Like my dad's friends, call all of them and like it'll be COVID friendly because I mean this is our family. Like and we have an extra room to film a bar in and like we literally decorated that room into a like it was an amazing experience because we did it all and he wrote it and like he acted in it and it is good. It's not like it looks very professional and his friend is a DP on it and like so yeah, it was to answer your question, it was really amazing and it was so awesome to see what him and I could create together if we just like stick to it.
And what you're saying, I do think it was a really fantastic short film. Like you mentioned, the visuals, like you couldn't tell it was like this really small indie thing, and the dialogue was just top notch. I completely lost it at the
It was
line,
so
"I am the
funny.
rebel without a cause." I
Yeah,
I feel like you need to revisit it, and then you could be involved as well. Who knows?
yeah, like his because he's a smart dude. Like Andrew, he's super smart. So like his jokes are really smart too. So only like smart people will laugh and like the people that don't get it will just be like but like
Like the laughter, like those gut
oh
punch
my
moments.
god.
Happy Valley
Yeah.
Productions, have you consistently, I guess, been working on some more ideas?
He is I don't think I'll ever I mean never say never, but I don't think I'll ever write. I don't really want to direct. I really just want to act. So I don't think I'll write anything anytime soon, maybe way down the line, but I think he is super capable of writing something really beautiful. And he has a few things in his computer that he has been writing and going back and forth with. But my favorite part, though, you should rewatch it. And now that I mentioned this to you, um, is when he's flipping through the book of his names of like the One Glove Rider, and all of those drawings that you see are Sage's drawings. So like you should watch it again, and it's so flippin' funny knowing that Sage he just took a random book like out of my house. Like it wasn't like Sage, can you draw? Like he just found a random book and he was just flipping through pages and we were watching it and we're like what I was wheezing like it was so funny
Okay,
so
yeah, I definitely need to rewatch it. I know what you're talking about because that's where he had his names on like the back page. But
yeah
but
he's
now
like
that you told me that those are Sage's
no and he like
drawings,
scratches out yeah you have to watch it's so funny
and then it's nice to kind of tie in her as well, kind of, not saying she was drawing for the movie, but it's something that your family has done
she's
together
just
and so
naturally involved because she's
yeah.
so talented
hopefully more creating together down the road, as you mentioned, even just as a producer's part. I know you would love to do that. We have our
Yeah,
signature question for you. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
maybe lavender. Just because it's relaxing and it tastes good, or green tea, because something about green tea just makes me feel warm inside.
I love those. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chloe. This was really a good interview. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Make sure to catch Fivel in the Neverlist. Visit neverlistmovie.com for all of the details. Atypical season 4 dropping later this year, and we will see you next
Yes,
time.
thank you.